Megan Faces Derision.
A Spirit Guide, a Ghost Tiger and One Scary Mother. The Megan series.
Book 8.
Written by Owen Jones. Narrated by Robert Sebastian Cooper.
Copyright 29th of November 2019. This is Volume 8
in the 23-part Megan series. For more information, please go to meganthemisconception.com. Dedication. This edition is dedicated to my wife, Pranon Jones, for making my life as easy as she can, and she makes a great job of it. Karma will repay everyone in just kind.
Contents. Acknowledgements. 1. Problems at school. 2. Megan becomes depressed. 3. Megan seeks a solution. 4. Evan's speedy brain syndrome. 5. Wackenhincher. Glossary. The disallowed. Acknowledgement. Thanks are due to the artist who did the cover for me, Jacqueline Chavaria.
1. Problems at school. Megan had always liked school in the way that people do who are good at it, but she'd also found it preferable to being at home alone with her mother in the early days. Her mother's attitude towards her had improved immensely over the previous 12 months, but she still enjoyed going to school, just not quite as much as before. Fainton, the town in which she lived, was of medium size, about 50,000 inhabitants, and had 5 junior schools scattered around it, so when she was in junior school until the age of 11, she had known everyone in her class for 5 years. They were the closest people she had to brothers and sisters. However, at the age of 11, all the pupils from the 5 junior schools sent all their 11-year-olds to the one huge secondary school. There they were streamed, so Megan ended up in a class with children that she'd never met before. She'd been put into class 1-3, which meant that she was in the 3rd brightest class in the first year. Only one other of her former classmates had gone in there with her, but the other 28 were total strangers, although she could still meet her old friends at break and lunch times. The placing into classes had been based on the simple tests that each student had sat in junior school, but the restreaming at the end of each year in secondary school was more scientific, and Megan had been moved to Form 2-2. Again, there was only one of her old friends there, and now, at the age of 13, she was in 3-1, and there was no one from her old junior school. She liked being in the top class, but she found it a little lonely, since most of her new classmates seemed to have come from 2 of the junior schools, so they could be a bit cliquey. This had the effect of isolating Megan, and her response was to focus on her schoolwork. It didn't bother her too much, because she'd always been a bit different, and although she'd never felt shunned, she and everyone knew that she was not quite like everyone else. Megan's explanations for events that happened in everyday life were derived from her spirit guide, Wackenhincher, who had been a member of the Sioux Nation the last time he had been on Earth, whereas other people's rationalizations came mostly from their parents or the television. Most people's grandfather took them to the seaside by car, whereas hers had taught her to fly while her body was resting. Most people would have kept quiet about these things if they were happening to them, but Megan did not. Her friends from her old junior school had grown up with Megan, and so knew what she was like, but her new classmates did not, and even at 13 were already a little too steeped in society's traditional way of explaining things. Some openly laughed at her, but most just thought she was odd. Still, having had her own mother criticize her for her beliefs all her life, she could put up with that, because she could tell that they were reacting from positions of ignorance or fear.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?